How's it going, guys? So today we're gonna be looking at the final god in the Genesis set here, the war cards, and we're gonna be looking at the spells and relics for war in the Genesis card set. So let's jump right in. The first spell we have is gonna be Demoralized, where you deal 1 damage to each damaged creature. At the end of the turn, draw a card. This card's okay, it's not that great. The problem with War is similar to Nature, where it doesn't have a really a lot of removals. So it's gonna have to compensate in some other way, and generally the way that it compensates is gonna be the spells that buff the relics and the creatures that buff relics, or generally creatures that get buffed. But Demoralized, in my opinion, is a really bad card, because dealing 1 damage to each damaged creature, meaning that means you need to damage all of those creatures previously, and this would be good to give that finishing blow, but still, for me, it has to be 2 stars out of 5. Next, we have Earl Weapon, and this card's really good. I say this is like a 4-star card because it destroys your relic and deals its damage +3 to target creature. If you want to deal with really high health creatures or really strong creatures, this is one of the only ways that War has one of the only spells or ways that War can deal with those types of things is to hurl their powerful weapons, or even the weapon you get from the Slayer gunpowder. So 4 stars. Out of its misery, for me, it's a 5-star card for sure, because you're typically gonna put this into a creature that's, you already know it's gonna die next turn, or it's a 1/1 creature that's not that powerful. But if you play this on it, then you're gonna be getting, first of all, you draw a card, okay, for 1 mana, which is already really good for War, because it doesn't have a lot of draw mechanics. But on top of that, it's going to be a 3/3. And imagine you pull a 2 mana one. You play a 1 mana creature, 1/1, like for example, a Confused Chicken or something, and then you use Out of its Misery on it. You're going to be drawing, you draw, for example, a 2/2 that can be buffed. Let's say, for example, a Skeleton. It's going to be the Skeleton heavy. It can be, for example, a Skeleton that's 5/7 worth of stats for turn 2, and that's like completely preposterous. So for me, this is one of the best War cards. It's 5 stars for sure. Next, we have Whiststone, 4 stars. It's super powerful. Can give you a relic 4 strength, and that's what you need in order to be able to remove. The problem with War is then, generally, you're gonna be using your relics to get rid of the high cost creatures, which means that you're gonna go down in terms of health super quickly, and there's not a lot of ways to regain that health back with War. So that's the only problem. But for Whiststone specifically, for me, it's 4 stars. Then we have the Red Fume Dash. Give a creature Blitz and +2 strength. For me, this is a 2-star card, because you can just run a creature with Blitz. It's generally not that great, so I wouldn't run this in any War deck, because there's way better cards to run. Next, we have Take Them All On. Select a friendly creature. It attacks all enemy creatures on the board in random order. So this only works if your creature has a lot of health, and if it does, then it's good, because it can possibly be a board wipe, but most of the times it's gonna die after the 2nd attack. So you're generally probably only killing 2 creatures, even though that's considered fairly good. But I would still have to put this in the 3-star slot in terms of ratings. Then we have Blood Rage. I really like Blood Rage, even though it doesn't work that well. I'm gonna have to put this in the 3-star category, even though I'd like to put it in the 4-star, because Blood Rage, the problem with this is that it is 4/2, so you can only use this on a damage friendly creature, and the thing is, you're not giving it a lot of survivability, because if it's already damaged, it's probably at 1 health, 2 health, and then you're giving it 2 extra health, meaning that it's gonna die next turn. And it's fairly easy for the opponents to deal with it. Unless you combo this with other cards that also buff the creatures, then in that case it's good. or 2 blood rages in a row to be able to deal a lot of damage. But still, I would put this in the 3-star category. Even though it's the upper 3-star, it's still not worthy of 4 stars. Next we have Sharpen, where you can give 3 strength to your relic and target friendly creature for the next attack. For me, this is a 4-star card because you're getting 6 attack, and if you already have a relic that's like 2 attack, 2 strength or 3 strength, that means you can get rid of a big creature, and then your creature can also get rid of another big creature. So if you already have a relic and a creature, you can get rid of 2 big things for 2 mana, which is pretty awesome. So 4 stars. Then we have Reinforcements. Randomly pull 2 creatures from your deck, each with a mana cost of 2 or less, into your hand. I would say this is okay. It's not good, it's not bad, it's okay. You typically wouldn't run this because unless you're running a super aggressive deck, then yes, you would want to draw those types of cards for 3 mana. But the thing is, I would generally only consider this to be a really good card if it was draw 3 cards, pull 3 creatures. Then it would be really good. Then the 4 mana level, we have the Gunpowder plot, where you give each creature burn +1 and add a mana lock to your opponent's mana jumps. This is a way to overthrow the game in your direction. Maybe if you're running Onslaught, it might be good, but I still think that this is way too heavy in terms of mana, so I'm gonna put this at 2 stars. It needs to be at least, I would even say 2 mana, but just to be safe, I would put it at 3. Next we have the Incoming Raid. Incoming Raid's interesting because it's one of the few cards that you have with War that can deal direct damage. The problem is that it doesn't stack, so you cannot choose the same creature twice. But you can choose to deal 2 damage to a creature and then buff one of your creatures. So I'm gonna put this in the 4 stars because it's one of the few cards that War has where you can do a targeted spell. Then we have the first relic. We have Size of Arvest here at 4 mana, and this is definitely a 5-star card. It's super good. Everyone runs Size of Arvest in their deck because it gives +1 strength to a random friendly creature, and it has Godblade, so it's a great finisher. Then we have Dead Man's Flail. It also has Godblades, and at the end of each turn deal 1 damage to your god. So you definitely want to get rid of this super fast because it's kind of like a double-edged sword. And the Afterlife deal 1 damage to each creature. It's a fairly good card to have with War, so I'm gonna put this at 4 stars. After this, we're gonna have Iron Coppedge at 5 mana with 5/2 with Blitz. I think this is one of the weaker relics, so I'm gonna put this at 3 stars. It doesn't have anything interesting going for it. After this, we're gonna have the next relic. It's gonna be, or spell, it's gonna be the 6 mana Beast Claws. Whenever you attack, give +1/+1 to a random creature in your hand. The only problem with Beast Claws is that it costs 6 mana. If it was 5 mana, then it would be fine. Since it's 6 mana, you could even decrease the durability, but since it's 6 mana, you're committing a lot just to get possibly 4 worth of stats. Thing is, it's okay. I would put this in the 3 mana slot, not in the 3 stars rating, not 4 stars. It's almost at 4 stars, but not nearly enough. Then we have Penitent Spear with Godblades. Whenever you attack, if +2 strength to a random friendly creature. Now this is interesting because it has Godblades, so it's a good finisher. The problem with this is that it only has 2 durability. I think for this to be viable, it needs to have at least 4 durability, because if you're committing 6 mana to a relic and not creatures and not spells, then it needs to be really good. If not, then I'm gonna put you at the 3-star category. That's where you're gonna go. And then we have War Incarnate. War Incarnate equips RX Shield of Pain, which is a pretty powerful relic, and it changes your god power to Ruin. Ruin basically deals damage to 1 damage to everything. It can combo with a lot of stuff. It gives War the board clear it needs. The problem is that the RX Shield of Pain is not good enough, and you typically with god powers like this, you want to have at least 1 sort of removal when you play this. So with Light, it changes the health of a creature. With the Death, it kills a creature. With the Magic, it turns everything into reds. With Deception, it stalls the board, but this doesn't give you a direct impact, even though the Rune power is pretty good. So I'm still inclined to put it in the 4-star category, because the Rune power giving War the ability to do board clears, even though it's only 1 damage, it's a pretty good thing. So I'm gonna finish this up and put this into 4-star category, and that's gonna wrap up the spells and relics for War in the Genesis set. Anyways, guys, if you like this, make sure you smash that like button down below here, and answer the question in the description to participate in the giveaway. And if you don't agree with any of the reviews, I think we could argue that, for example, some of the relics might have a different rating, but let's discuss this down in the comments down below, okay? Anyways, guys, see you guys next time. Peace out. Bye-bye.